Hi, hello dear students and friends. Welcome to my next lecture on general organic chemistry, continuation of that isomerism. Today I would like to give some important elements of isomerism and the optical isomerism with examples, as well as RS configuration with examples, and the details about the configurational isomerism if time persists. Okay, so let us start the session. So in today's class, we're going to talk about the things related to the definition, different examples of optical isomerism. Okay, as we will see the definition and also different examples of optical isomerism. Different examples of optical isomerism. Let us see some examples like lactic acid. We will take an example, lactic acid. So it is CH3, CHOH, COOH. It can also be written as a carbon. As we discussed about a chiral carbon, we can write the chiral carbon like this, and this is CH3, this is H, this is COOH. And here I am putting a star on this carbon. That is, the star indicates that is chiral carbon, and you can say it is optically active. Another one we have, that is nothing but amyl alcohol. Amyl alcohol. This is C2H5, CH, CH3, CH2OH. This is CH2OH. In this case, this can also be written like the previous lactic acid with a optically active type compound, that is the one chiral carbon. We will take asymmetric carbon in the middle, and to that we will attach that alcohol group. This is CH2. Alcohol group is nothing but CH2OH, and the other side we have C2H5. C2H5 is there. So here I am taking star. Star is nothing but a chiral carbon. This is also optically active. This can also be called as amyl alcohol. Another IUPAC name is 2-methyl butanol. 2-methyl butanol. So all these substances are actually said to be exist in two forms, as we are observed that whether there is lactic acid or amyl alcohol, these optically active compounds are said to be existed in two forms. As they convert the plane polarized light, they rotate the plane polarized light towards the left or towards the right. So that form actually named as levorotatory and dextrorotatory were learned. Okay, so this is not going to happen in the case of inactive compounds. So this lactic acid and amyl alcohol are the best examples for this type of optically active compounds. And now we will see the in an inactive form it does not rotate the plane polarized light. Inactive compounds does not rotate, but these are the active compounds. The first one is lactic acid. This is optically active, and the second one is amyl alcohol, that is also optically active compound, as the groups or group of atoms attached to this carbon, whatever indicated, is are different. It is asymmetric carbon atom. So what is our main intention in this one is asymmetric carbon. What is the thing we have to remember in this isomerism is what is asymmetric carbon. Once again, asymmetric carbon is nothing but carbon is described being asymmetric and different atoms or groups are bonded to it. That is called as asymmetric carbon. For example, if you take a carbon like this, around that carbon different bonds are there. So here carbon is there, and rest of the bonds or groups attached, if you write they are differently, you write this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D, then and this carbon whatever we are writing here, concentrate on that one, and around that one what are the bonds are linked here, linked with A, that is linked with B, linked with D and C. That is why here we want to indicate something about the carbon with a asterisk, star or asterisk, to identify this is said to be asymmetric carbon. That means here the carbon usually indicated in this one usually called as asterisk, the star is indicated asterisk, and all the organic compounds containing such type of asymmetric carbon atoms like lactic acid and amyl alcohol we saw there comes under this optically active compounds. So when you are writing lactic acid, so here you will write methyl group one side and carboxylic acid one side, hydrogen, and another methyl group. This is alcohol. In case of lactic acid we have OH is also is there. Okay, so this carbon whatever indicated, that is said to be asymmetric carbon, and these groups, your tetrahedral arrangement we are showing, and that of compound will call it as lactic acid. Another one, amyl alcohol, the carbon what we are shown here is also can be indicated like lactic acid. Here we have C2H5, here CH3, here C2H, CH2, OH and hydrogen. And this carbon here which is present in the middle is linked with 4 carbons, 4 group of atoms different. That's why we are putting asterisk over that. That indicates it is optically active. It is also called as amyl alcohol. It's also called as amyl alcohol. So got a information that asymmetric carbon is very clear, that Asymmetric or disymmetric, how you'll come to know is depends on plane of symmetries, and no plane of symmetry is there, they are asymmetric, and non-superimposable and mirror images, they are also said to be asymmetric. That means molecules which have asymmetric or disymmetric molecular structure in tetrahedral respective called as asymmetric molecules. The two features we have, no plane of symmetry. So we'll once again check it about asymmetric thing. What is asymmetric? Also disymmetric molecules. Symmetric molecules. Here one point to be noticed, that is there should not be any plane of symmetry. No plane of symmetry is there. Suppose no plane of symmetry is there. No plane of symmetry is there. That means what is that one? For example, this is a symmetrical structure. So if you divide it like this is plane of symmetry. Then plane of symmetry is plane which divides this object in such a way that the part of it of one side of the plane is the mirror image of that, and the other side of the example. Here we have a ball is there, we are shaking a ball, and for this mirror image same. Okay. This is said to be plane of symmetry. Plane of symmetry. While that of the hand, if you take, just a minute, if you take hand like this, take that here, if you check this one, this is not said to be having one kind of a plane of symmetry. So if you observe one line like this, there is no such type of things, that we'll call it as asymmetric substance, asymmetric idea. So similar ideas will be developed in organic compounds. Suppose if you take an organic compound, like if you take a carbon is there, to that one chlorine is attached, assume like this, another one here hydrogen, so another hydrogen attached like this, and somewhere other side we have a bromine is there. So here we're going to see one thing, that a plane, if you write a plane like this, here this is symmetry, this is symmetry. While that of, if you see the same thing in a different group of atoms like this here, so I'm writing hydrogen here, fluorine here, here bromine, here chlorine. So if you put, if you assume this is a plane like this, what will happen? there will be different things are present around it, around this one. That's why we will call it is asymmetric. Asymmetric. Okay. Understand? An organic compound molecule here asymmetric, which has no plane or center of symmetry. This is the example. Likewise, some non-superimposable mirror images. So another thing here to notice in the isomerism is non-superimposable on its mirror image. Non-superimposable on its mirror image. Non-superimposable on its mirror image. Okay. Any asymmetric object cannot be superimposed on its mirror image. The reason is nothing but right hand produces a mirror image which is identical with your left hand. Okay. Two hands are non-superimposable, which is clearing evident if you write and in the left-handed glove. So, if you write on your left-handed glove, so how it can be understood is symmetric object like a ball can be superimposed. So a ball can be superimposed like this on its mirror image, which is another a similar type of ball. Similar type of ball. Two balls are there. This is A, this is B. A, B. So keeping A over B, the image should be similar. So that's why what will happen in this juncture, we need to check with the organic compounds. The organic compound should be non-superimposable. For example, if you take a carbon, the carbon with chlorine atoms, fluorine, bromine, hydrogen shown. Here one hydrogen is there, one bromine, one fluorine. We keep a mirror here, then what will happen? This image will come like this. Here, image will come like this. This is a non-superimposable mirror image. That means straight away if you directly take it and put it on this one, it is not going to be superimposable. So that's why they are called as non-superimposable mirror images. So in telling this one, we have the point noticed about chirality in the discussion. We have noticed that is said to be chirality. That means it has been recently used to describe such molecules which have no elements of symmetry. Thus, symmetrical molecules are also called as chiral molecules. That means any molecule is there, there is no element of symmetry. Such molecules are said to be chiral molecules. Any asymmetrical carbon is a chiral center only. So that we have noticed with asterisk in the discussion. Now, let us see about the necessary conditions for a molecule to exhibit optical isomerism. Okay, is nothing but chirality. Such things we will observe. In that case, what is the point to be noticed is enantiomer is a doubt. What is enantiomer? It's a general doubt will come for everybody. So the two forms of mirror images are there, na? Tetrahedral forms. They have the same structure. There are different arrangements of groups are there in same asymmetric carbon we saw. That means the two models, whatever we saw, tetrahedral molecules, and the two models of structures are said to be levorotatory, and another one is called as dextrorotatory. Okay, that levorotatory, dextrorotatory, the two models of the structures we saw. Suppose if you write the structure like this, the other one, if you keep mirror image, mirror here, then you will be getting this type of thing. So these two are actually stands for dextro and levorotatory. So similarly, they are related to each other in mirror images. They are commonly called as enantiomers. And here, enantio means opposite, morph means form. Enantio means opposite. And commonly known as enantiomorphs. And the point here is optical isomers are said to be enantiomers due to the presence of asymmetric carbon in a compound, differ only in arrangement of configuration of groups in tetrahedral perspective. For example, if you take this type of mirror image, so one will call it as plus dextrorotatory, and the other one will call it as minus levorotatory lactic acid. Okay. Similarly, you can see another example, that is, suppose if we have carbon with hydrogens, here chlorine, here methyl group, and here C6H5 is there. This one. Keeping a mirror, you will be getting hydrogen here, here one methyl group, here you will get C6H5, here you will get Cl. Actually, this is dextrorotatory, and the other one is levorotatory. Its IUPAC name is 1-chloro, 1-phenyl ethane, 1-phenyl ethane. This is the IUPAC name of this compound. So, what is actually the criteria of enantiomerism? Enantiomer. So, criteria of enantiomerism. We'll see the criteria of enantiomerism. Here, the compound which contain one or more asymmetric carbon atoms should be important. So, carbon should be chiral, one or more than that. But there are some known compounds are there, actually asymmetric carbons I have, but being non-disymmetric do not show enantiomerism. So, more than this asymmetric carbons are there in a compound, but there should be non-disymmetric. If they are non-disymmetric, I will tell you, if a compound is non-disymmetric, that do not show enantiomerism. And mesotartaric acid is the actual point to be discussed in this one. Meso compounds are there. Actually, they have two chiral carbon atoms are there in meso tartaric acid. Mesotartaric acid and mesotartaric acid is there, na? That is having more than two chiral carbon atoms are there. That is 50% of the structure is similar to that of the other 50%. That is said to be optically inactive. So this should not be there. The criteria is non-disymmetric. They do not show anisomerism. And similarly, trans-cyclohexane. We have trans-cyclohexane is there. Suppose this is the structure of cyclohexane. If you just observe the structure here, carbon center, we have COOH is present here and hydrogen is present here. The other side here, opposite sides, if you write, this is COOH, H. In such a case, what will happen? This is the center actually we have. The center is having, this is the point to be said to be center of symmetry. When this is called a center of symmetry, then what will happen? This entire compound trans-cyclohexane 1,2 dicarboxylic acid, 1,4 dicarboxylic acid is optically inactive. Okay. Non-disymmetric, exhibits no anisomerism. So here this trans-cyclohexane 1,4 dicarboxylic acid has asymmetric carbons. This is the asymmetric carbons are there we have, and it has a center of symmetry is there. So these lines here, if you observe the dot lines, center of symmetry is there, indicated by here thick lines, and indicated by the dot lines. Here center of symmetry is indicated by dot lines, and the compound is non-disymmetric and exhibits no enantiomerism. So there is no enantiomerism in this compound. Absolute. Okay. So this is about the criteria of enantiomerism. Now we will start learning about RS configuration. RS configuration is also called as absolute configuration. Absolute configuration. Here, this is a actually new type and a more symmetric systematic method it is specifying absolute configuration to optically compounds is RS system. You can also call it as R and S system. R and S system. Okay. And actually this is been proposed by scientists R.S. Chan and C.K. Gold and V. Pralak. That's why it's called as a Chan in Gold Pralak system also. So this system is designated. Configuration has been used increasingly after 1960s actually. Eventually replaced the DL system of Dexter-Lewis system and all. So this system, another name is nothing but Chan in Gold Pralog. John in bold and Pralog system. So the system is based on actual three-dimensional and tetrahedral structure of compounds here. In order to specific configurations, asymmetric carbon star, whatever this asterisk we are using, that is A, B, C, A, B, D, E, assume A, B, D, E as carbon is C. Then the groups A, B, D, E are first assigned. Here A, B, D, E are first assigned. The order of priority determined by the sequencer of rule. So, as per their order of priority, we will assign the numbers for them. So, these rules will be given later. For instance, for example, if you assume priorities, priorities like 1, 2, 3, 4, that's for these groups, then the order of priority may be stated as A greater than, B greater than, D greater than E. That means it is 1, 2, 3, 4. So you are assuming these are the groups, different groups. Now, tetrahedral model is there used in a direction opposite to the group E of lower priority. So for example, if you take the tetrahedral model, how we can understand this one? We'll check it out. That is, if you take a carbon like this, two of these groups, whatever you have assumed, yeah, these are the groups here. So this is A, this is B, this is D. So actually this topic I am telling is the conversion rule. The conversion rule. So if the I while moving from A, B, D, travels in a clockwise direction and right hand direction. Okay. Right hand direction. The configuration is designated as R. That is R as per the Latin terminology, rectus. Rectus means it is right. And here I am telling that opposite side to that group, E of lowest priority is E. So E we are putting here. And to write that one, the groups now like this, that D came this side here and a B here came. Assume here B came. As usual, this E is present here. So when you are observing, this priority will come like this. What is the priority here is nothing but in the viewing 1, 2, yeah, see A, B, D, E. A, B, D, E. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So A, B, D, E. So in this direction. Okay. So this is called as S configuration. In Latin, so in Latin R is called as rectus. In Latin the S is called as sinister. So meaning is left as per that foreign language. So now we understand simply what is R, what is S. Okay, the sequence rule now we'll start understanding the priority sequence rule. So now the point is the sequence rules the sequence rules to determine the sequence rules to determine the order of priorities of groups. The order of priorities of the groups. So in this one, atoms or groups directly bonded to the asymmetric carbon actually assigned, arranged order of decreasing atomic number. So groups, how we will arrange is in this way, order of decreasing atomic number and assign the priority as 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. For example, if you take this carbon, hydrogen, chlorine, bromine, fluorine. To this carbon, these groups are attached. That time, the substituents here, suppose if you take substituent bromine, its Z value is 35. While that of chlorine, its Z value is 17. And we have a fluorine, that Z value is 9. As you know, hydrogen atomic number is 1. So in this way, if you arrange it, that means bromine is first. This is first, second, third, fourth in this order. Okay. Then that will be one of the first point to be understand the sequence of writing the rules. And the next one, what is the next one is when two or more groups have identical first atom attached. That means what will happen is groups will be there attached to carbon. They have identical same atoms also will be present. For example, if you take CH2H, this you will call it as methyl. When you take CH2H here, then you will call it as ethyl. If you write CH2, if you complete it here, CH3, that is called as N-propyl. In this one, these are carbon atoms. Okay, priority order is determined considering atomic numbers of second atoms. Suppose this is 1, this is 2. Putting numbers here 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. This one, the second atoms are also identical. And third atoms only we will check it. Here carbon, next to that we have hydrogen is there. Here first one carbon, next we have carbon, then we'll go with the third one hydrogen, like this. That means these three groups we have, methyl and ethyl. The first atom is carbon and therefore atomic numbers of second atoms. For example, you take hydrogen, Z value is 1 and atomic number of carbon is 6. Okay, second atom is 6 here for ethyl. So what happens in between ethyl and methyl? Ethyl we will give priority, then methyl. This is most important point in this discussion. While considering ethyl and propyl, suppose if you take ethyl and propyl, first two are same. The third atom here in N-propyl case, we have carbon Z value is 6, hydrogen Z value is 1 in the case of ethyl. So comparison between ethyl and propyl if you take, obviously what will happens? N-propyl will get higher priority than ethyl. So when all these four are there, so four are there means we have three are there. In this three, all three are there means the N-propyl will come first in the priority. After that we have ethyl will come. Then after we have methyl will come. Okay, this is the point we are discussing. And next, moving on to the other one, the first atoms of the two groups have same substituents. That means here we discussed about carbon atoms, carbon chains. But now we are going to discuss about the first atom attached to the carbon is same. Then how the condition can be understand. For example, if you take CHCl2, another one if you take CH2Cl. So if first atoms of two groups have same substituents, here these are two groups we have, first atoms are same. The one with more substituents takes priority. That means in these two, first atoms of two groups have same substituents of higher atomic number. That means chlorine. Chlorine is there, Z value is 17. Then the other one with more substituents takes priority. So here, which is having more substituents, the two chlorine atoms are there. So two chlorine substituents are there in the first case. Here we have only one chlorine substituent is there. So we will give priority to this more substituted one. Higher priority will be given to CHCl2 rather than CH2Cl. So this is the priority order for this one. Okay. Next we will see the another point here under the priority orders around the chiral carbon. And this is nothing but conversion rules, these are all. That means how to identify the priority of this. Now a doubly or triply bonded atom is there. That means double bonded atom A is there and triple bonded atom A is there. So how we can distinguish these things? Double triple bond is there, atom A is there in a group attached to a symmetric carbon is considered equivalent to two or three singly bonded. That means, for example, double bond is there. So double bond can be equal to two double bonds like this. That means here we have two groups are there. It is equivalent to two bonds. And three are there, three bonds are there, equivalent to three A atoms like this again. So here, how many are there atoms? A. In such case, how we will give priorities? We will give priority to this more bonded thing only. Hence, usually this will happens between carbon groups. Here, carbon, oxygen, double bonds are coming in the functional groups, aldehydes. Okay, here, oxygen, hydrogen. So, like this we will write. And if we have primary alcohol functional group is there, then oxygen, hydrogen, we'll give priority like this. So in these two things we'll give priority to the first one because there are two oxygens are there in this list. So double bond oxygen is considered as two oxygens. So three atoms we will write. The three atoms OOH will write. Here we will write this one as the second one primary alkyl is OHH. Okay. Now we will see another example for this. that is a phenyl group is there. Suppose a phenyl group is there. Like this it is there. Is handled as if it had one of the calculus structures. Okay, this will be handled like this. Assuming these are the groups. So because we have double bond is there here, so two atoms we have shared, this one double bond, and one single bond is shared with one A. So like this it will come. Okay, let us see examples on this case. So we will take an example for understanding RS configuration. To understand RS configuration, we will take this example, that is Cl, here hydrogen, here bromine, here CH3, and this I am calling as 1,1 chloro bromo ethane, chlorobromo ethane. This can also be written as like this, chlorine, and here I am writing bromine, here I am writing CH3, and this one I am writing hydrogen. So if you start putting the numbers, atomic number of bromine is 35, carbon is 6, chlorine is 17. So you will go in one direction like this. Here. In this direction, if you go, it will come like this. This is nothing but R configuration. And similarly, if you go in the other direction, opposite direction, it will come like this. That is S configuration. So here what is the priority order we are giving is bromine greater than chlorine greater than methyl carbon greater than hydrogen. So now viewing the groups bromine, chlorine, methyl groups in tetrahedral perspective, the configuration R and S are assigned according to whatever we have shown like this. Okay, this is an example. Moving on to another example we have, that is, once again we will take lactic acid example. So we have carbon with carboxylic acid, we have methyl, we have hydrogen, and we have one OH group. So in this way, this is called as R configuration. Why? Because the OH has got higher priority than COOH. Why? Because directly this oxygen is related with the carbon, but in COOH group, first the carbon is there, so that prior Z value is lesser than oxygen Z value, then greater than this methyl greater than hydrogen. This is the order. So if you see this one in the anti-clockwise direction, just you have to change the OH and CH3 only. So you'll write OH here and CH3. Here you'll write. So in that case, in this case, we have this type of anti-clockwise direction of rotation. Okay, that means the configuration R and S for lactic acid can be written like this. Why? Because the numbering only this is. What is the numbering here is the numbering is most important one. So we will give priority to that OH. After that carboxylic acid, next methyl group. Here also the same one. It is 2, it is 3 in this direction. Next one. We'll see another example. If we have aldehyde function group is there, to the carbon, asymmetric carbon is there here, CHO we are writing, and one hydrogen. Here primary alcohol group I am keeping, and here I am keeping one alcohol function group, as you know. Okay, in this one the CH2OH is there, O is there, and OH is there, H is there. So in this order, if you consider OH is bigger, higher priority than CHO, higher priority than CH2OH, then after hydrogen. Why? Because we will consider this is CHOS OOH priority, this CH2OHS OHH priority. In this way we will observe this is. Okay. Then this is called as OR configuration. Here this is the priority order configuration. So OH of the CHO like this. And S configuration will come in this way. That is, you'll write OH here and CH2OH here, and this is the hydrogen. And this is anti-clockwise direction, which is there order. So it is S configuration. The first one is OR configuration. Let's see another example. We have alanine, most important compound. Lactic, this is an amino acid. This is alanine. For this, we have a carbon with carboxylic acid, and another one we have methyl group is there. One amino group is also attached, as it is amino acid. Another one is hydrogen. In this, if you see the priority, NH2 is greater than, COOH is greater than, CH3 is greater than H. That means in this way you will go according to this R configuration in alanine like this. So S configuration, how we will write? We will write S configuration by changing the NH2 to CH3, NH2 and CH3. So here you will get NH2, here we will get CH3, here this is hydrogen. So here this is the anti-clockwise direction it will come. So this is S configuration. The first one is OR configurations. Next one, lactic L-tartaric acid will take. L-tartaric acid. So here having more than one asymmetric carbon is there in this one. For example, if you take this one, is the dicarboxylic acid. It will come like this. Here, by two rotations of this one, tetrahedral rotation, this part, if you observe this location, by two rotations, this can be identically equal to a COOH, and this can be written as CHOH. The other one is OH. This is H. Here to this one we have a OH is attached. Okay. So if you give the priority, then it will come like this, because O first priority will be given to OH, second priority will be given to COH, and third priority will be given to that CHOH, COH. So the configuration at center is specified by the symbol R and S here in this. This is nothing but R is the configuration symbol. And when you change this one to another configuration, and that one, how the structure will be there is COOH, two rotations of tetrahedral mode will see, that is HOH, and this is OH, this is COH. So in the first mode, whatever the picture is there, in the first picture, is the numbering here is coming like this 1, 2, 3, 4. And this picture also same 1, 2, 3, 4. And by rotations of two rotations of tetrahedral mode, how it can be observed is, it can be observed like the previous one, but we have to see how it looks after two rotations. Here we're getting OH only, CHOH, COH. This is so L-tartaric acid. When you observe R and S together with the number of asymmetric carbons, L-tartaric acid have how many configurations here? See, the configuration at each center is specified by here symbol. We have R is a symbol we are specifying. Okay, and symbol R and S together with the number of asymmetric carbon atoms. That means in L-tartaric acid, we have the symbol 2R, 3R. So configurations are 2R and 3R. So how we can write it is on the second carbon, on the third carbon. So actually this is the first picture we wrote based on second carbon as the asymmetric carbon, and this structure we wrote by taking third carbon. So 2R, 3R. These are the configurations for this L-tartaric acid. So here what are the things to be noted carefully is RN system is merely its nomenclature device. There's nothing to do the sign and magnitude of the optical activity. For example, complete description of optical active compound is there, must include both the direction of rotations. So we have plus and minus and all will rotate, will show, and the configuration of the compounds R or S. So this is R, this is S. A racemic modification is there. Suppose a racemic modification is there. Is nothing but equimolar mixture of two enantiomers prefixes R and S. So R and S, equimolar mixture is there. Then that is the racemic mixture. Okay. So understand what is the racemic modification is the equimolar molecular mixture of two enantiomers given the prefix is RS. This is about R and S configurations, and still we have anything to talk about the examples in RS. We'll see. If you take an organic compound, general organic compound examples like CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. In writing this one, if you attach some groups to this carbons in chain, some groups if you attach, here if you attach bromine, here if you attach chlorine, this is second one, this is third one, you know, as per the IUPAC nomenclature. In this, C2 carbon is having, what are the different groups? We'll check it. C2 carbon is having one methyl group is there, one hydrogen is there, one bromine is there, and one other group, that is CH, Cl, CH3 group attached to this one. And about the C3 carbon, if you check it, what is that one is that is having what kind of different groups of atoms are there? Is nothing but it is having methyl group is there, having hydrogen is there, chlorine is there, and CH, BrCH3 is also there. Such a substance here, how we will represent is of configurations and all, will check it. So first one, if you write the carbons like this, two carbons, CH3, and another one is CH3, and we can openly write the structure. We can open the structure now. This is the structure. This is first structure. Same way, when you write this structure by changing the atoms positions, here we'll write bromine, hydrogen, here I'll write chlorine, hydrogen. This is the second one. And now we'll try write another way, that is CH3, bromine, here hydrogen, and carbon, here Cl, here hydrogen, here CH3. This is third one. This is not matched with anyone. And another one we'll write, that is CH3, and we'll write Br this side, and H. We'll write Cl here, H here. So if you observe the first one and this is fourth one, first one and fourth one is different, and everything is different. All four are different here in this forms. If you observe the first one and second one, they have optical enantiomers. They are said to be optically enantiomers. Optical enantiomers. Enantiomers. They are enantiomers. While that of they are related to objective mirror images here. That's why we are calling enantiomers. Forms 3 and 4, and they have two pairs of enantiomers give rise to two possible racemic modifications also here in this one, that 3 and 4 racemic mixtures are coming here. And it may be noted that in the first form, if you observe, first form, we have 2s and 3r. So that means on second carbon, we have on second carbon, if you take first one, the priority will come in anti-clockwise direction. And the third carbon, if you consider third carbon, the priority will come in the right hand direction. So that is why it is 3r. Okay. And coming to the second one, what is the second one case? If you take, this can also be written as 2r, 3r. So second one, this is right hand rotation is coming like this, that is 2r, and C3 if you take, it is coming in also right hand direction, that means clockwise direction, that is 3r. Are not mirror images actually, or enantiomers actually. Not mirror images or enantiomers. These are not mirror images. These are not enantiomers. Yeah, I am telling about first one only. Okay. Now, this is first one and second one are mirror images, and first one and third one are not mirror images. They are not enantiomers also. Now, to get a clarity, I will give the stereoisomers which are optically active isomers but not mirror images. So another point here in the discussion is diastereomers. Diastereomers. Example, these are the stereoisomers actually which are optically active isomers. Optically active isomers but not mirror images. But not mirror images. That's what we saw in the above examples. We have 1 and 3. They are active but they are not mirror images. So they are called as diastereomers. So they are said to be having different physical properties, different melting and solubilities in a given solvent and densities, refractive indices. But they also differ in specific rotations. We have the same on opposite sides of the rotation. Okay. So this is about that 2R, 3R, how the symbols are coming and all we saw in this one. So in the above 4 examples, we saw possible racemic modifications are the 2 pairs of enantiomers will give rise to the 2 possible racemic modifications. That is the thing we have observed. Okay, hope you have understand the discussion what we have made here in this session. The different examples of RS configurations as well as the sequence of the priority sequence rules, we can say, to determine the order of priority of groups or group of atoms attached to the chiral carbon atom, to identify whether the rotation of plane of polarized light by this compound takes place towards right side or towards left side, and getting a confirmation about whether it is a R configuration or S configuration. Okay, hope you have understand this session, and I will join in the next session with the more interesting concepts in this isomerism. Okay, thank you very much.